Now let's go and do a quick little, speed comparison between both of these devices. The 9 Pro has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 chipset inside of it with 8 gigs of RAM on the base model and 12 gigs of RAM on the top tier model. This model has 8 gigs. The OnePlus 7 Pro had that Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 chipset with 6 gigs of RAM on the base model, and I think it did go up to 12 gigs, but this one has 6 gigs of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster phone between both of these. Okay, now that we're back, let's go and clear all the apps in the background, and those are cleared on the 7 Pro. So let's get started. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. And about the same, I think the 9 Pro is faster. Messages, 3, 2, 1. Again, about the same thing. Chrome, 3, 2, 1. And kind of about the same thing. I think maybe the 9 Pro is faster there. Camera, 3, 2, 1. I think the 7 Pro actually was faster there to get into that camera. How wild is that? Hopping out of this one, let's do their Play Stores, 3, 2, 1. I think roughly around the same thing too. I was expecting there to be a bigger difference, but there really wasn't. But you can definitely see scrolling speed wise, the 9 Pro is a far faster and smoother scrolling speed than the 7 Pro. This might be the bigger difference between the two. Swiping up, again, you can see both are at 120 Hz and 90 Hz, which doesn't matter because they're at 60 frames or 30 frames per second in this video. But that's a pretty big difference. The animation speeds hopping out, you can kind of see roughly around the same. There's not that big of a difference. Getting into some third-party apps. Let's get into Temple Run 2. 3, 2, 1. And looks like the 9 Pro is definitely in the lead, but it's not like a crazy amount as I mentioned. The 7 Pro still looks like it's doing a pretty good job. There we go, the 9 Pro is loaded, and the 7 Pro was literally just a little bit behind. Like, I don't want to hype up the 7 Pro too much, but it really wasn't like a crazy amount behind. Gameplay-wise, it's going to be the same too. I mean, it's a basic game. Getting into the next one, let's do Snake versus Blocks. 3, 2, 1. And I think the 9 Pro was slightly faster, but again, the 7 Pro was right behind it. Getting into some gameplay as usual, looks like it's about the same. Hopping out of this one, let's go into Facebook, 3, 2, 1. The 9 Pro is faster, 7 Pro a little bit behind. Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. And I thought I didn't click it here, and that's one thing. With the 9 Pro, I realized whenever I click on it, it's pretty much there. It's like instantaneous. The 7 Pro, as you can see, glitching up a little bit. We had a little bit of a different panel here, but still the 9 Pro was faster to get into the next panel, I would say. Now, another problem I had with the 7 Pro is swiping up, as you guys can see. Because the curve is kind of big, it does kind of make it hard to swipe up, but I still like the curve. Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. 7 Pro actually was faster there. I was not expecting that. Stack, which I don't have. Thank you. 3, 2, 1. And the 9 Pro was faster, but the 7 Pro, dude, was like right there. It was like so neck and neck. It was so close to one another. Hopping out of this specific app, let's get into the next one, which can be like Twitter. 3, 2, 1. And I think the 7 Pro again was the faster one there. I mean, you guys correct me in the comments, but I think that was like right neck and neck to one another again. Snapchat, 3, 2, 1. Almost neck and neck, like side by side. So I think, to be honest, and to give the both phones the benefit of the doubt, I am surprised how good of a performing phone the 7 Pro is compared to the OnePlus 9 Pro. You guys saw it with your own hands. They were neck and neck. They were so close to one another. Now, would I rather have a 7 Pro over a 9 Pro? Probably not. But dude, that's still pretty crazy. How good, you guys saw it. The 7 Pro is still a really good performing phone between these two. And the RAM management seems to be about the same on both too, so there's not really that big of a difference. But I think honestly, the 9 Pro is the faster one by a little bit, but the 7 Pro definitely held it down for sure. So in terms of that, that pretty much covers that up.